Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing the last of the line blue dial Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711s. We know there's a new Dash 14 model for 2021, and that's going to be the last year of the 5711 period. In steel, this watch, of course, re-engined for 2019 with the new caliber 26330, represents the final run of the iconic blue dial that first launched with the Nautilus back in 1976. So let's take a basic look at the dimensions, all of which are going to be familiar to you. 40 millimeters in diameter. The watch is 8.5 millimeters thick, 48.1 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. For those keeping score at home, this is the 5711 1A-010. When I talk about the -014, I'm talking about the green dial runout model. This watch, of course, more classical, as the first 3700 had a blue dial, and the first 5711 back in 2006 had a blue dial. So this is the watch most people think of when they think of the Nautilus. It's easy to wear, being flat, only 8.5 millimeters thick with a sloped case flank. You can easily wear it with a dress cuff. It's a formal watch, it's a sports watch, and it's a unisex option, all of the above. My wrist is 16 centimeters, but even a 13.5 centimeter circumference wrist would wear this watch quite well. Taking a quick look at the hardware, it's impressive. Now you can see that the finishing is exquisite, as we have a bevel that runs down the shoulder of the case, but then perfectly aligned from link to link. We also have satin over the tops. There's a wonderful taper that you can see visually, but you can't actually feel the step down from link to link. So tight are the tolerances. You feel a wonderful smooth sweep. It's a real pleasure to see and to handle. The intermediate links are polished. You can see the flanks are satin finished, and then, as with all of the Nautilus bracelets since 2012, I believe, we have pins and sleeves used to fix the removable links, so you'll need a block and punch if you want to size this at home, but they are quite secure. Now you can see ceramic pin snaps are used, spring-loaded pin snaps, internally to maintain the tight tolerances of the clamshell closure. Twin folding deployant, then you have these little ceramic pin snaps, and they ensure, because the steel cannot aggress against the ceramic, that the closure will remain crisp over time. The case is far more complex than the Aquanaut, and that's one of the reasons for the price delta between those two models. Even when you consider the Aquanaut on a bracelet, the Nautilus is more expensive, and a big reason for that is the fact that this three-piece case is sophisticated and difficult to finish with small bevels, large bevels, creases, curves, polish, and satin. You can see the hairline expression of the bezel gasket between case and bezel, and then of course we have a screw-down crown, little winglets on the flanks. If you measure the watch from side to side, it's about 43 millimeters. So though it's a 40, it wears a little bit bigger than that, but it's broad. It's down the wrist rather than across the wrist. The bezel is a rounded off polygon. Of course, 1976, 4 years after his Royal Oak, Gerald Gent designed the Nautilus. And in some regards, I consider it to be a more fully realized concept. Same integrated bracelet, steel sports watch ethic. But you can see that whereas on a Royal Oak, you have a round inner bezel, a round dial, and a round sapphire, we have that polygonal form outboard, but then you can also see it on the inner bezel. The sapphire has that shape, and then so does the dial, so I think there's a little bit more design parallelism. I do consider this to be a more complete design in some regards than the Royal Oak. This was new for 2006 in the 5711, but you can see the blue dial has a gradient from silver blue at its center to navy blue, almost black at the edge. White gold hands, white gold indices, white gold so they will not tarnish over time. We have a black on white date disc. There is a quick set system for the date, but then because this is the new movement that arrived for 2019, the last caliber in the 5711, 26330 SC, and it does have hacking seconds, so no more applying back pressure on the seconds hand. This has a true stop seconds function. Let's take a look at that movement. Again, 120 meters of water resistance. It is an impressively watertight sports watch, given just how thin it is. You can see the movement is beautifully decorated. We have handsome mirrored bevels. They're started mechanically, but they're finished by hand on a Patek Philippe. We have Côte de Genève circular across the rotor, engine turning on the center of the rotor, as well as across the base plate. We have those perfectly aligned abrasive wheel laid Côte de Genève across the bridges. All of the wheels feature satination. The screws are black polished on their heads, chamfered on their smaller slots in circumference. Innovations here, several. The 30 jewel movement features a free-sprung balance adjusted in 6 positions. They call it Gyromax. That is what Patek calls its free-sprung balance. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and with the combination of the Patek Philippe seal, which you see underneath my finger, the free-sprung balance, 6-position adjustment, and the anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, this watch is rated to run no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per 24 hours, which is impressive accuracy for a mechanical watch. It does go above and beyond the -4 + 6 for 24 hours that is used in the COSC chronometer certification. Single mainspring barrel, handsomely executed from every angle. This is a watch that rewards close viewing with a loop. The architecture is slightly different than the 324, but only detail changes. Both movements are thin, fine, gorgeous, and precise. This one, of course, now including hacking seconds. Last of the line, this is the Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711 with blue dial. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.